Hello folks, Sam Owens here, and I've got a nice project for smoothing out those wood projects that you need. It's a VEVOR 7 amp belt sander. It's got a sand belt that's 3 inches by 21 inches, and it comes with an 80 grit belt, and it's got 6 speeds, and I think it will handle just about any of your woodworking needs. So let's look at what we get. You get the sander right here. You get 2 clamps here, and these clamps are made to turn the sander upside down and attach to your workbench or to an area where you can have a bench sander. So you have a hand sander and a bench sander all in one. And you also get a vacuum bag here that will keep your area clean. As you're sanding, it will blow the sawdust out and into this bag. It's got a little wire retainer there that holds the bag up. You squeeze these down. We'll mount that in a moment. And also, if you have a vacuum cleaner, a shop vac, you can put this on here and take the hose and hook it on there or stick it in, whichever way fits. So you might have to adapt to your hose with this. Okay, now let's look at the sander itself. Comes 110 with a good size cable on it, electrical cable. And it's got a good grip up front, and this is a non-slip grip here and on here, so it's not going to slide out of your hands. It has a trigger lock. This is a lock. You can pull the trigger and get it to go just by pulling the trigger, but if you want to keep it going, you can pull this up and push the lock in, let go of the trigger, and it'll just sit there and grind. Sometimes you want that, especially when you've got it as a bench grinder or sander. It can mount right there, and you might have several pieces that you're going to sand down and not have to work with the trigger. And besides, it's upside down, so it'd be hard to hold on to it. Okay, so to release the trigger, you just pull the trigger lock, and hear it click. It released the trigger lock. Okay, I always read through the user manual to see just what's there, and also the safety information is very useful because there are things that maybe you're not familiar with a belt sander. And one of the things that stood out to me that makes me more cautious is with this lock. It's not plugged in. If you do not want to leave it in the locked position, the trigger, because if you stop it and then you go and plug it back in at some time and it's sitting on the bench like this, it can take off and maybe hurt someone that's around or cause damage. So it's not a good idea to ever leave that trigger lock activated. So always release it. That's one of the safeties. There's like 5 pages of safety information that you might want to look at. Power tool use and care, and just general service, and vibration safety, grounding. It's a lot of information that wouldn't hurt to read through and just get familiar with it, because you might see something there that you really didn't know, and it will help you. There's quite a bit of information. They actually show you all of the components. There is a tracking knob right here, and one of the key things is this is an adjustment knob that when you have it powered and the belt is moving, you want to get this belt moving where it's in the center of this drive wheel here, and we'll show that operation. there's also a cover here, which there's a drive belt in there that you may have to replace if it ever breaks. And there's a couple of screws, and you can take this top cover off. You don't have to take this whole thing, just these two screws, and this cover will come off and allow you to change the belt if you need it. And we're going to show the sanding belt, how to change it. And let's see, set up before use, and they're showing that and giving you some instructions in here. So that's a good document to read, and it's written well. You can't hardly go wrong. It's very easy, simple. Let's look at some of the things, just like we were talking about, the maintenance of it. If this drive belt needs to be changed, which is possible, you just unscrew these two screws. Now I'm going to tell you ahead of time, always look at screws. They may not be the same length. The short screw is in the center here, and this is a long screw. It's got to go all the way down through there. Obviously, you won't be able to get them in the wrong place. You'll notice right away doesn't work. So right there, the long one is here, and then all you do is pull this up, and it locks in the front, so you have to kind of pull out. Right there is the little lock. So when you go to put it back in, you have to push it in and under there, and then this has to go down in that hole. Now here's the drive belt, and it would just be a matter of sliding this off and from around the wheel. So see, this is what the motor is right here in driving the belt drive. That could break some point or wear out or break a tooth on the belt. So there you go. Now let's show putting it back. There's that little clip, and it carefully goes, and there's a little rim around here, an edge that sticks out sharp, and it fits right in this little guide right here. So you just push this down, and actually you want to line this up into those grooves, and also right here, and push down. Short screw in the center. Okay, and this is plastic, so you do not want to over torque that. Just nice and firm. When you feel it, just a quarter of a turn more, and that'll be sufficient. Okay, right there. All right, now that's the drive belt. Now let's look at this and how to change this belt, because you may not want 80 grit all the time. You may want different grades of sandpaper. So this is a real course to really eat down some wood. Now here is the belt tensioner right here, and it's going to loosen it. You can't get this off because it's tight. Now you pull this back, and then hold on here and then pull. Make sure you're not plugged in when you're doing that. This releases the tension, see, and then now it's loose. You can slide this belt off. Now the belt goes in this direction, so maybe when you're looking at it, make sure you know which direction, because, and look at the belt when you take it off. There's always going to be some arrows. These arrows, you want to put them in the direction that the belt goes, and this is P80 grit. Okay, and that's a good chance to clean it out. If you've got an air compressor, you can blow it out and everything. I have used it just a little bit to explore how it works. Now this is what you're trying to line up on, is the center of this wheel right here. You don't want it way over here, and you don't want it way over there. So we'll show how to do the tracking. That's the tracking adjustment. Now you just kind of, it goes on very easy. It's not hard at all. When you put it on, try to line it up in the center, and then you just take and push this in, and that should be just that right. Okay, now we're going to check the tracking, and right there it's tight, and make sure that's all the way in. Very simple so far. Okay, now it's a good idea always to have some glasses to anything that's moving at high speed. There could be wood chips in there that can go into your eyes. All right, now what you want to do is have this kind of upside down, and you're going to watch and make sure that this doesn't move. In other words, it should stay right in that same place. If you turn it on and it starts moving to the right or left, this knob right here, you can turn it and you can watch it. It'll track and go right to the place you want it, which is right here in the center, right there. All right, I'm going to get it going, and I'm going to lock the trigger. So I'm going to pull it up. And you see it's tracking just right. Now I'm going to get it to track a little. See, it's tracking too far that way. Move it over this way. Now it's tracking too far that. Now just move it a little bit at a time. And let it situate. Kind of give it a little time. Right there. It's holding steady. So if you do it too much, it'll, even when you stop, it's still going to go. So just do it a little bit at a time. All right. Now, before I'm going to set it down, I'm going to unplug it so that we don't pick it up with the trigger going or something. Now we have the dust collector, and we're going to show that. And it's a good idea maybe to get a little pair of pliers like this. Even pull the slip joint like to get it like that. That's the whole idea of these. And what we can do is put it right on here and kind of twist it around, and up here to this little recessed area. That's where it's supposed to lock in place. And then there, it's hanging down, and so all the trash or sawdust can go into here. And we will use that on our demonstration. I've got a 2x4 that I'm going to use on it. Okay, showtime. It's plugged in, got my glasses, and now it's secured in my vise where I can just sand this down a little bit with my 80 grit. So now I'm going to pull the trigger and lock it. And I have variable speed. Let's do the variable speed, which is right here. I can move it up. So I'm going to do it at the low speed right now until I can just work it up when I want it. I'm putting a little pressure down on it. Oh yeah, 80 grit really will take it down. At the top, that's the top speed was 6. Looks like 9, but it's 6. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There's the lowest speed. Let's try that. Keep my cord out of the way. I'm going to lock her down. No, I want her up. I like it up. Yeah. And I have to give it a little bit of pressure down and hold on to it, and it really will do the job. Oh, yeah. I mean, it like chisels it down nicely. Now we're going to take the sander, and you notice it has 2 little ribs here, which allows it to sit flat on the top like this. I have a board here because this is too thick for this to work. So I've got it to where it will mount on this thinner board, and I've got it propped under here where it's not going to flip up. And now these are specially, if you'll notice how they're angling down, so the end of this doesn't have to go too far into this little recessed area, and it'll grab hold of it there. So I get this one opened up and get it into that hole, and it's a screw hole, and I can just screw this down a little bit till it makes contact. Take the other one, and there's another screw hole. I'm going to put this over to the side right here, and what I do is I stick this one after I loosen it up a little bit, and now I hold that in there firmly until I get her tight. And because these are angling down, it's going to pull down inside that hole, and it's not going anywhere. And then you keep tightening these up, making sure it's all the way in, because you don't want it working out. Okay, and then test it out. Yes, it's locked in place. Okay, now we're going to take this 2x4 that I was using before to sand that side, and we're just going to do this edge right here. Okay, so I'm going to get her going in full speed, and it's plugged in already, and we are good. This is good, and I'm going to pull the trigger and pull the lock. So I'm going to go around this way and push it down, and also push the lock. Let go of it. See, it's puffing up. And now I'm going to go around, and I'm going to put this on here like this. Oh yeah. Let's give her some speed, more speed. Where it is, right here. Right here's the speed. Right there. Hey, you see how we can just keep going right on down. And it unlocks it. And I'm going to unplug it so I know that it's safe to work with. See, this was just for a demonstration. I would not normally want to have it quite like this. But it was a quick setup, and you see it allowed me to show you one type of sanding and another where you can use your sander as bench mounted. And this is Sam Owens thanking you very much for watching my video.